been bleaching my hair at home, but as you can see here, I have harsh lines from new growth, and since it's not a good look for me, I'm going to blend my roots into my highlights. I used a demi permanent 10 volume developer, half 6A and half 7A, with just a very small amount of the Clairol Professional Mix Tones in Cool, mixed with a little shampoo to help blend it a little better and stretch it a little further. Then I added about 1 teaspoon of color and equal parts activator from that 5C box dye, trying to match my exact color of my roots. As my hair grows out, I'll be painting in a balayage effect, so doing this today will be my first step. First, I'm going to cover my roots down my part, only slightly dragging it past the beginning of the blonde, making sure to hold the brush vertically so you have more control and you won't end up with a line the length of your brush across your hair. I part my hair a few different ways, so I'll part it here, painting in all the areas that might be seen. This step can be achieved just by doing the vertical painting that we will be doing here in a few minutes, but since I switch up my hairstyle so much and I do part my hair in different ways, these parts might be on the top of my head, so I like to make absolutely sure that it's blended in. Okay, this part can be a bit tricky. I just used a mirror and make a few parts and paint down the center, because this part, kind of is a pain in the butt. It helps a lot if you don't have to hold the mirror or if you can get someone to help you. And now I'll start pulling or slicing vertical sections, pulling one section straight back and one section straight forward to keep the hair at the very top blonde and create a bit of a shadow root underneath. And you want to do reasonably thin slices with a light hand, so the dye doesn't kind of like poke through and touch hair that you don't want it to touch. And I'll go underneath and pull it down just a little bit further than where I had been pulling it down past the blonde on the rest of my hair, because the sun would naturally lighten the top of your head and the bottom underneath of your hair would be darker, if that makes any sense. And the point, obviously, of all of this is that I don't want any harsh lines at the root, so every so often I'll go around and drag it past the blonde with a very, very light hand, holding the brush vertically, just to make sure it's blending well, because right now at my root it looks pretty harsh, but throughout the whole process I just kind of lightly drag it down past the blonde just a little bit. In different areas I will go further down just to break it up a little bit, to make it look like it has grown out naturally, I guess. I'm terrible at explaining things. I would just rather do a video and let you watch me do it, but when I have to sit here and explain what I'm doing, I am not the best, so bear with me. And since I'm working at the top of my head, up near the crown, I'll take smaller slices and pay close attention to that area because, well, it's on the top of my head and people see it. And then of course I have to go around the perimeter of my hair, and I'll pay close attention to my bangs too. I'll go in, take very, very small slices because, you know, the first thing you see. And then just go around your hair, touch up any areas that you think needs blending. Oh, look at that hair. I had done a standalone Olaplex treatment the night before and still had step number 2 in my hair. Slept on it, and that's why it just looks crazy funky doodle. And surprisingly, repeat the process on the other side of your head. And since you just watched me do this, I'll speed this up a little bit. And don't forget to take small sections from the bottom, kind of pull them off to the side, and paint in your root. That way it blends nicely. Depending on what color your roots are naturally, you may need to spend a little more time on this. I chose a color that's pretty close to my natural roots, so if I miss a little bit, it's not a big deal. Again, blend, blend, blend. It's the most important part of this technique. You want to make sure that dark just melts into your blonde. And here we go again, turning around and parting the hair, looking like a creeper in that mirror. As long as you don't pull too much dark too far down on your hair, it's not really going to matter how well you do in the back, because all that hair falls down and covers it all up anyway. And unless you like to split your hair down the middle and wear like 2 French braids, and in that case I would part your hair down the middle and the back and pay special attention to that area, but otherwise just do your best. Now I'm just double checking, making sure everything is blended like I do a million times, and let it sit for the time indicated, which is generally about 20 to 25 minutes, and voila! My roots look pretty blended now. I'm happy with the way it turned out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.